oldest glaciers of Earth have seen it all, and they are telling us now that we are slipping. The environmental scientists are listening to them and warning the rest of us. These scientists measure the carbon dioxide trapped by different layers of the glaciers to derive what the carbon dioxide content in the air must have been like historically. The result is this graph. It shows that our activities in the last few decades have pumped an enormous amount of carbon dioxide into our atmosphere. But it mustn't really surprise us, isn't it? Why is it so hard to believe that it is indeed us humans who are affecting the Earth's atmosphere? Has the smoke blurred our vision to such an extent that we aren't able to see what's right in front of us? In 2020, when many countries imposed lockdowns to fight the spread of the deadly COVID-19, suddenly human industrial activities also came to a halt. And within days, photos went viral on the internet showing that people could now see the nearby mountains from their rooftops as there was less smoke in the air. You can imagine the scale at which we pollute our atmosphere, that stopping our activities just for a few days was enough to make an observable difference. We humans, of course, know that we are polluting our life-giving planet every day, but we can't slow down. We have been pumping smoke continuously in our air for years, and to think that nothing will go wrong. Really? Well, in today's video, let's understand the basics of climate change. Let's start with understanding what is climate. Is it the same as weather? No. We use the word weather to describe how it feels like on a given day. Is it a sunny day, or is it rainy, or is it a cold, windy day? The weather changes day in and day out, but it changes in cycles and it changes in different seasons. Climate is the pattern of these weather cycles over a region over a long term. A desert, for an example, has an arid climate, which means that it is normally hot and dry in the desert. The day-to-day weather might fluctuate. There may be an occasional rainfall as well, but we understand how a desert normally feels like, and we describe it by using the word climate. Different regions on Earth have different climates, and these climates do change. But they change over very long periods of time, thus allowing all the living beings to adapt to the changing habitat. But the climate change that concerns us in today's video is a much faster change in the overall aggregate climate of the entire planet Earth, and this change is brought about by an increase in temperature of our atmosphere, which is induced by human activities, and this is called global warming. To understand global warming, let's go back to Science 101 and understand the greenhouse effect. The sun shines upon the Earth every day and is the greatest source of energy that we have. Its rays would typically reach the Earth and most would be reflected back. But few gases in the Earth's atmosphere, like carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, are capable of absorbing energy from this reflected radiation. This resembles how a greenhouse with glass ceilings feels warm because the heat gets trapped inside it, and therefore this is called the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is essential because this is what keeps the temperature of the Earth regulated. So what is the problem? With time, these few special gases are being pumped into the Earth's atmosphere in increasing quantities by our activities. Thereby more and more heat is getting trapped in our atmosphere. This is increasing the temperature around us, and hence this is called global warming. So how much has the Earth warmed? This is a picture. The baseline temperature here is the average of the Earth's atmosphere for the period between 1950 and 1980. This is the pre-industrial temperature that is considered to compare relatively how much the temperature has risen. The graph clearly shows that as industrialization grew, as a general trend, the temperatures are growing. And we are already 1 degree Celsius above the baseline in the last few decades. Broadly, scientists agree that if we stay within 1.5 degrees of the baseline, we should be okay. But the rate at which the temperature is increasing is worrisome, with studies estimating that we are on track to reach 1.5 degrees as early as 2050 and 2 degrees by 2100. This is if we continue to emit at the same rates. The ground reality, though, is that our rate of pollution is actually increasing for the last few years instead of going down. And now the experts have started considering the possibility of even a 3-degree rise above the pre-industrial levels. So it's pretty bad. Now we need to draw a distinction between global warming and climate change. As the world becomes warmer, the overall climate of the world is changing in various ways. The overall climate of the Earth, of course, is an extremely complicated machine, which cannot be oversimplified to fit into a video of few minutes. But this little fact can be understood, that an external factor impacting this complex mechanism is definitely going to be disastrous. How many ways it can impact the climate is just mind-boggling, and to tell you the truth, we really don't understand it fully. But to name a few disastrous consequences, the polar ice caps are melting, causing the seawater level to increase. Extreme weather events like excessive rainfalls, floods, droughts, heat waves are increasing already and will become more and more frequent. Ecological patterns are changing and will change, further affecting small and large animal and plant species. Well, you get the idea. The repercussions are pretty scary. So what can be done about it? Well, a lot needs to be done to solve the problem, and we will explore more about it on Unocean. But the first step is to acknowledge the problem, to be informed about the problem, and to understand the gravity of the situation. This video is also an attempt in the same direction. At Unocean, we are striving to explore topics that truly matter. So we will continue exploring this existential problem and its solutions. Let us know if you have any suggestions. We leave you with this one thought. We are just one species of animals.